Hello and welcome to week 6 here in the psychology seminar. Hope you had a restful week off. Time to get back to work. So here we are in week 6, and we're beginning two kind of interesting things about this particular course, and introducing you to some of what we've done to ensure that you get a really good experience here at KV. And the first one is to look at the notion of assessment. And that educators such as myself and institutions like KVCC are deeply interested in making sure that we have numbers to back up the fact that we're going to give you and confer upon you a degree. And I'm certain that you want to be sure that you're learning things, and the activities we're having you do and the hoops we're having you jump through are worthwhile, and they're necessary, and they're geared toward teaching you what you need to know. And so, as the program writer for this particular program in psychology, I've taken the opportunity to look at a number of different areas in our world, in the world of assessment and education, and develop those areas very concretely within the program. So the process is called outcome alignment, where we look at the content that we want people to know if they get a degree in psychology, or each individual course even, and you see those outcomes on the syllabus. In my courses, you see the outcomes for each chapter, but they also go, like, you have the course and then you have all the outcomes, but it goes above the course. And when it goes above the course, when we start talking about learning outcomes, what does it mean to have an associate's degree? What does it mean in the world of psychology to have an associate's degree in psychology? What does it mean in terms of liberal arts education in America? All of these things, and I've looked at various areas, various sources of ways to measure those things, and I've performed that alignment within the entire program, all the courses within the psychology program, and including sociology. So I'm going to be having you take a look at those and just reflect upon those, not because you need to be able to outline those things, but just to give you a little bit of insight into how I went about designing all of these classes and constructing all the assignments. Now, this is an ongoing process, and it gets evaluated all the time. If I have an assignment that doesn't work, I have to look to see what didn't work about it, and sometimes I might throw it out and replace it with a different assignment, year to year. I evaluate those every semester. Now, the first two that we're going to be looking at, kind of the big ones here, are the APA, American Psychological Association, expectations for people graduating with a bachelor's degree in psychology. Now, that's the only one they have. They don't have one just for associate's degrees, so I adopted that one, and I used their outcomes to align all of the assignments within all of the courses to what the American Psychological Association feels that you should get out of a degree in psychology. The next one is the value rubrics, and value stands for value added learning for undergraduate education. It was a series of general education outcomes that have been adopted by the Association of American Colleges and Universities. It's a national standard used to determine the outcomes for colleges and universities. So I aligned them to those as well. Sometimes they're the same. Each one wants writing to be demonstrated, and so sometimes you'll have an assignment within your course which will be writing, and it meets writing assignments for APA, but it also meets writing assignments for the value rubrics. So I'm going to have you look at those two first. We're going to be looking at two others which are much more under development now. We'll be looking at those other two next week. So you can see in that content, and I'm going to be showing you a little example here of where you find those in your course. So let me get I have a course book set up here. Here is the Introduction to Psychology course book for this semester. And you're not required to really read all this stuff, but this is sort of the introduction to the book. We get a little bit into mobile learning here, And here it is, outcomes alignment. So the first set of alignments here is the American Psychological Association. You can link right to the document right there. And then the first one here is knowledge-based in psychology, describe key concepts, principles, and overarching themes in psychology. That's the first goal of many that the APA has set out for individuals who graduate with a degree in psychology. So if you're going to have a program that has people getting a degree in psychology, we have to demonstrate, well, when do you get the opportunity to describe key concepts, principles, and overarching themes in psychology? When do you get to do that? Well, in this class, you get to do it a number of times. In Chapter 1 quiz, Chapter 4 quiz, Chapter 5 assignment, 8 discussion, 9 discussion A, 10 quiz, 10 quiz. There's two questions there, one on emotional intelligence, one on motivation, in Chapter 11 and Chapter 15. So each one of those assignments has in some way related to that specific goal. And as you saw as I went to page 2 here, all the assignments, here's the next goal, all the assignments that align to that one, this goal, all the assignments that align to that one, each one of these. Then we go into the next section, and we have communication, professional development, those are areas. And then we rapidly go into the Association of American Colleges and Universities, value rubrics, and we see civic engagement, creative thinking, critical thinking, ethical reasoning, global learning, information literacy, and we see the assignments that align with those outcomes. Okay, so that's the point of these first two, just to reflect upon them. If you already are taking a social science class, or you have in the past, then you have a document like this to reflect on, and you can simply say, you can look at one of the special assignments, or you can look at a quiz, or you can look at and say, yeah, I get it. I get how what I was doing in that assignment aligns to what the APA thinks I should know after I get this degree. So I like to talk about it because this was, I have to tell you, it was quite a bit of work putting it. It is quite a bit of work to put that together. I totally enjoy doing that kind of thing, but I like to be able to provide you with the knowledge that you need to understand why you are doing these assignments and what each one of them means. You can ignore it, it's fine, and just going to go along with what I say, but there it is. There's the proof of why I do all the things that I do and have you do all those assignments in my courses, and there you go. The next part that's exciting about this week is, yes, we are finally going to start to look at our book. Enlightenment Now, an incredibly dense, intellectual, but amazing work. Bill Gates calls it his favorite book when it came out, favorite book ever. Steven Pinker is an amazing writer, and this book really impacted me personally as a social scientist to read this from another psychologist, and the really intense message that he has. So we're going to be beginning that work, and I want to show you where to find that work here in the course. So here's here in Brightspace. You go to content, and I've already clicked on it here, but you have special assignments right down here, and then just click on the Enlightenment. That's the first module here. And you're going to review the online biography of Dr. Steven Pinker, watch the Enlightenment Now video, read chapters 1 to 3 in the book, that's pages 7 through 35, and then participate in the graded discussion. Same expectations as the other discussions. Here's the links to Steven Pinker. If I open that up, here's about Steven Pinker, and you can look over here and see his photographs. I mean, he's a celebrity now, so some favorite books, things about the brain, silly things. Hey, let's look at that. That's always fun. Silly things. Just click on this, kind of get to know the guy. Look at this under articles. You have it's organized in the years. So 2013, he wrote 8 articles. 2014, he wrote 12 articles. I've never written an article in my life. 12 in 1 year. Amazing productivity here. The same comes in books. He has published 8. Or maybe these are kind of combined. Looks like just these 12 things that he published. Either way, prolific writer. All kinds of, yes. Here's the journal articles, 78 journal articles. Anyway, just kind of crazy. And if we go back to the course here, the Enlightenment Now video right here, this is from the Cato Institute, and this is a presentation. Look at the title. It's Enlightenment Now, The Case for Reason, Science, Humanism, and Progress by Steven Pinker. This is actually a video presentation of the thesis of his book. I think this is a really good introduction. Watch it first. I'm asking you to learn a little bit about Steve first. Go in, watch this video. It's a long video. It's 1 hour and 9 minutes. You got to set aside the time. Get a nice glass of water, some Oreo cookies, and just milk. Actually, an Oreo cookies, great way to experience Steven Pinker's work. And listen to him talk and explain what he is trying to do with this book that he's come out. And he has another one coming out very soon. And so if you like this work, then that would be great. Now, it's a thick one, right? And look, a tiny writing. This is a very dense book. There's a lot in here. I'm expecting you to give it your best effort. You're learning how to read this kind of material. This is not a book for journal articles. This is not a scientific book. This is a book for general readership, but it's college level reading, there's no doubt. And you're asked to think deeply about some ideas, and I think that's the point. The point is to start thinking deeply. That's another book I'm reading, Thinking Deeply. So what I'm expecting you to do is let's go back here to the Enlightenment here, and we have a discussion. And I just, go over the first 3 chapters of the book, introduce the notion of the term enlightenment. Pinker highlights the importance of the scientific revolution and human reason as examples of human excellence despite the presence of overwhelming counter-enlightenment. These are current movements in our modern society that are counter to the use of scientific reasoning and enlightened thought. Discuss the importance of these concepts, the challenges you personally face in them, and examples of these phenomena from your own life. Yes, this is deep. This is the root philosophy of the field of psychology and many of the sciences is we need to understand things from the best perspective we can as human beings. For me, this does not in any way counter any religious beliefs that I have, which I do have. I don't find that these are in necessary conflict with each other, although the language within the book does call on religion as very irrational. And in many ways, it is. And we are charged with taking care of our planet, taking care of each other, and we need to use our rational minds. As a Christian, I know that the Bible has not been specific in terms of do this, then do this, and do this. We are left to use our rational thought in order to find the best path for ourselves. So personally, I haven't found any offense at all in this kind of book. If that's kind of what you're worried about, don't worry about that. At the same time, I'm a scientist. I really understand the value of this kind of thinking and working out problems. And that in fact, the world is going in a good direction. You will find that out when you look at that video, and that we need to keep going in that direction and find some way to deal with these counter-enlightenment ideas, which are really kind of maybe drawing us back. So, a big week this week. I do want to say that the assignments for Enlightenment Now will be coming in 2-week intervals. So this is only due not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. So it gives you some time to do that. We're not going to cover the whole book. I encourage you to cover the whole book, read the whole book, but I'm going to be doing maybe how many weeks there are left here. I'm going to be doing selections from this book and having you read selections from the book and commenting on them. I encourage you to read the book straight through. I'll be doing them in order, but I might be skipping over some areas to focus on others. But either way, start reading the book, get into it, write notes, have a little notepad. This is special reading. This is not nighttime reading. This is reading to enhance your thinking and rational thought, and to make you an enlightened person. So there we go. Lots to do this week. Let's get started on that. Both the numbers, as kind of the theme of today is numbers, right? The numbers that I get from assessment that tell us here at KV that you are attaining the learning outcomes that we have planned. And here we are, again, looking at the numbers and science to help guide us in the decisions we make about making this world a better place. So I hope you enjoy the reading. I hope you enjoy this week's discussion, and I will see you online.